yeah. But you know what, Keisha, I have to ask this question because since we're on this topic, like, did I marry the right person? Do you think that it is possible to marry the wrong person? Like, do you think that it can happen?
It can't. You know what? I'm gonna keep it real, right? Because that's what we do. So you can, right? I believe you absolutely can marry the wrong person, right? If you're just wanting to rush the process and say, "Hey, I'm married," yes, you can end up marrying the wrong person, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think one of the biggest thing that women do when they marry the wrong person is for financial reasons, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of um, the huge issues in marriage today.
Mm-hmm.
When we say, um, "Can you marry the wrong person?" Because we often see things what it is before we say "I do," and we're like, "Oh wow, okay, then this is all
Yeah.
I have to do." Then yes, I'm
Mhm.
definitely gonna say "I do" to this, right?
Right.
And then once you in there, you see that that's not what it's all about, right?
Exactly.
So
Right. Mm-hmm.
um, I remember I have a cousin, um, and she would always say, "I am just getting older and older, and I'm not married, and what's going on?" And I'm like, "Don't rush the process." I said,
Right.
because you can marry the wrong person, and excuse my language, go through hell with the wrong person,
Trying to
and
match
at the
somebody
end
else's
of it,
timeline. Mm-hmm.
yes, and at the end of it, guess what? You're not gonna have anything because you rushed the process and you wanted to be married, right? So yes, you can absolutely marry the
Marry the
wrong
wrong
person.
person.
Some
Mm-hmm.
people get married because they have kids and they think, "Okay, I have to marry this person," and
Right.
then at the end, no, you don't. Just unfortunately, you conceived the kid before you married, right? Okay, that's pretty much the normal now. We're gonna keep it real, right?
That's
But
true.
that doesn't mean that you have to marry that individual.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you just have to be patient, and you will know when that person is there, the one that you have really 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 have that connection with, the one
Mm-hmm.
that God has really created for you, right? Because if not, I mean, it's the waste of time, it's the waste of
Mm-hmm.
money, it's it's
Yeah.
just it's just the waste of everything. At the end of the day, you invested into nothing, right? And
Right.
who have time for that? I don't have time for that, so shoot. No, you have to be
Yeah.
careful, right? It is
Yeah.
too many marriages right now that's
Mm-hmm.
ending in 6 months or a year. Why? Because once again, it was rushed, or you felt like, "I had to get married to this person because of this reason." No, you
Right.
don't.
Right.
Build your own stuff
Mm-hmm.
until you find the one that's going to add to what you already built for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you
Absolutely.
guys build from that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know,
And I was just going to add to that because you're so right. So you have to be patient. Don't rush it, and don't
mhm,
feel pressured because of, like, somebody else's timeline, or because you have children together, or whatever
right.
societal standards tell you. But you also, and women, we do this all the time. We do not pay attention to those red flags. Listen.
No.
Those red flags are there for a reason. Okay.
Hmm.
It doesn't get better. And I think a lot of times women have that expectation. So, like, once we get married and we commit to each other, it's gonna get better. No, 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 no.
Yes.
It gets more complex, it gets more difficult, it gets harder. And so you should
Yeah.
already have like a foundation that is kind of like set to move you guys forward, not trying to undo or trying to fix or recreate something that
Right.
you're expecting to create in a marriage. So
Hmm.
if there's physical abuse, if there's selfishness, if he's not on a spiritual walk with God, just because you married doesn't mean all those
Hmm.
things are going to happen. So, like,
Yeah.
you have to pay attention to those red flags because, listen,
Hmm.
that is God talking to you, boo.
Yeah.
That is God talking to you and
Hey,
telling you. So don't get mad.
100, 100. Yes,
Don't
yes.
be mad at God when you marry this person and you're like, well, God, I did this because I wanted to honor you, and this person is
Hmm.
this and that. And
Yes,
I'm going to say, I showed you this. Like, I
yes,
showed you this about this person prior to. And so we have to really be careful with that and be mindful. Like, those flags are there for a reason. They're not going to change. It's only going to get
right.
worse because now they feel like I
Hmm.
have you, so you're not going anywhere and this is what it is. So, and it's not going to get better.
No. Hmm.
So, yeah. So, again, if this person is not making you feel empowered, or is, you don't feel love, or this person is in competition. And what I mean by, they're in competition is like you're competing to see who's going to be the
Who's
most.
gonna bring home more? Who's gonna bring more home more money than? Yeah, like
Exactly, right.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
or you can't be vulnerable around this person, or you can say, hey, I haven't talked to you all day. I haven't heard your voice. And they're like, well, why are you trying to control me? Why and I saw that on a video that I was watching today. And it was a therapist, and she was speaking about like paying attention to the warning signs early on in
Yes,
relationship, childhood trauma. So like if they
yeah,
didn't have a healthy childhood, or a relationship with their parents growing up, or maybe they saw a lot of division, a lot of abuse, then their idea about love may be different than your
right,
idea about love. And so you have
right.
to get to know this person, how they interact with their family, and what that relationship looks like with their family too. And so it's more than just love. Like
Yeah,
Tina said, what does love have to do with it? Love doesn't have nothing to do with it when we have
yeah.
all this other
Hey,
stuff.
yeah. That I mean, it's true, right? We keeping it
Yeah,
real.
absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's
So yeah,
it's
I'm
yeah.
with you, Keisha. Yeah, you can marry the wrong person, and you can marry for
Hmm.
the wrong reason. So again, do some introspection and see what's at the core of that decision, and why do you feel
Hmm.
like this is your person? Why do you feel like this is a person that God is putting in your life? Um,
Yeah,
to be able to to honor him, and to grow and prosper together. Why is that? And so yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I had a friend from many many years back, and he told me, he said, Keisha, I wish the best for you and your husband, and all I can tell you is that he said, answer this one question, right? And he said, is this the person that you cannot live the rest of your life with, right?
With mm,
So when he told me that, I'm like, wait a minute, isn't it supposed to be the other way around? He said, exactly. So
yeah.
once again, and I'm like, wow. I say, okay. But it really stuck with me,
Yeah.
and I really thought
Mhm.
about that for a while, before my husband and I, we were still engaged right at the time. And I really thought about that. And, I was like, well, shoot, am I getting ready to marry the right person? Is this the person that I can spend the rest of my life without, So I really thought about that. And I prayed like really, really hard after that conversation. And I was like, yes, Keisha, look, it's by that time. That's the one. Just
Mhm.
go for it. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no
Mhm.
one else out there for you. And
Yeah. That's deep. Mhm.
we did. We finally decided, okay, it's time for us to say I do. Right? It's
Yeah.
time for me to become Mrs. Best. So, I tell that to my nieces now. I tell them the same question, and they're like, "Oh my God, there she go again." But I try to teach them and show them, like with my husband and I, what we've been through, what we built,
Yeah.
um,
That's
and
beautiful.
what you should look for in a man,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
Because I don't want them to make a bad decision, right? And be like later on asking, did I marry the right person? you
Yeah.
know. So I always tell them, just pay attention, to the smallest thing that you can see in someone that you're dating. I tell that to my son now. Him and his girlfriend, they've been dating, I think it'll be 7 years in December, right?
Wow.
And I tell both of them, just always pay attention to the little things, right? Because
Yeah.
I still, after 22 years, pay attention to the little tiny,
And
tiny things
right.
that I pay
Still
attention to
learning
the
something.
most. I pay attention to the most weirdest things, and my family be like, "What
Mhm.
is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Hey, I just noticed, so I'm asking, But it's
Mhm.
important, like you said,
Yeah.
because those are red flags, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
But you have to know um, how to build together. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
You know, you have
Mhm.
to learn how to build each other up, and just build from that. You have to know how to do that.
That's so
Yeah.
true. Yeah. And
Hmm.
so just long as, you know, the two of you are willing to, maybe you're not there yet. So maybe things didn't go according to plan. It's like, okay, so are we willing to work together toward this here? Can
Right.
we build together? Can we start from here? Okay.
Yeah.
So if your partner is willing to do the things that will help grow the relationship and kind of see, some
Hmm.
ways that he can change or some, or
Yeah.
do some things to make you feel good about yourself or make you
Hmm.
feel happier. If he's willing to do that, then yeah, I say like, hey, you
Yeah.
know, um, give him an opportunity, set this foundation moving forward. But if your
Yeah.
partner is not, he's not willing to,
Hmm.
meet you at your point of need, or he doesn't really notice your vulnerability and not putting
Right.
any intentions in moving you guys together spiritually, then yeah, maybe you got to pray about it and just say like, Lord, help me to either get out of
Yeah.
this situation or you fix this situation. But yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah. You have to be careful, and if you can notice the red flags, like you said, in the early process, then that's a
Early.
good thing.
Hmm.
But my heart tells me that those red flags is is goes unnoticeable, right? Why I say that is because we have so many individuals out there right now that really wants to be married, that really wants to feel like they have to belong to someone, to where
Mm.
they don't care what those red flags
Oh
are.
my gosh.
We're just gonna make it work, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes making it work doesn't have a positive outcome, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm so glad you said.
So pay attention to those red flags, pay attention. You have to,
Yeah.
you have to, to all my wifeys and husbands out there, that have kids, especially young adult kids, teach them how to pay attention to those red flags, right? Because, we don't want them to make the mistakes that we did.
Mm-hmm.
But if we show them early in their young adult life and we teach them the right way, then they should know how to catch those red flags at an early
Right.
stage,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, yes, yes, yes. Being a married couple, we question ourselves. Did I
Yeah.
marry the right person? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Every day, right? Every day. We can be just in a little smallest argument and we're like, oh God, did I marry the right person? Right? Yes, we do.
We
I've
do.
been there, I've done it, and sometimes when I try to play mad with my husband when he say, Keisha, it's a budget right now, and I'm like, what? Did I marry the right man, that I married the right person? Yes, 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 I
Girl.
did marry the right person.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
did. But you just have to be patient and
Mm-hmm.
know that God is creating someone for you,
Yeah.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
just never, never rush the process, because you are, as a woman that wants to be a wifey, you are worthy of every single little bit of being happily married. So,
Right.
um, Yeah, I mean that's really all I have to say in closing. Just, like you say, pay attention to those red
Mhm.
flags, and wait for God to deliver the right one to you. You will know. You'll
You
have
know.
that feeling, the butterflies, the confirmation, it'll just be
Mhm.
there. You will know. That feeling is amazing. So just wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in closing, I just want to add to what you said. You so you also have to ask yourself, are you being selfish? Are you
Yes.
trying to hold on to independence? Do you have a fear of like being controlled in your marriage? Because we've talked about the art of submission before in the past, and just kind of like the reservations to that. And so you can't go into a relationship independent minded. You can't
Mm,
go into a relationship fearing that your husband is trying to control you because he is like establishing like leadership,
right.
the leadership role in your relationship. So just because things are not going your way, or maybe you feel like you don't have as much of a voice as your husband, you have to check yourself and ask yourself, like, okay, is it me? Instead of putting
Hmm.
all the blame on your husband, that I married the right person? Was I ready for marriage? Like, am I still
Oh,
trying to
wow.
operate in singleness and independent
Yes.
mindedness, or am I really trying to forge a union with my spouse and with my husband and honor God in a way that favors God? And so, yeah, do your
Yes.
do your self check too. Don't forget about yourself. Don't point your fingers all at your spouse. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just had to add that before we left.
This is another topic too, because you just said, was I ready for marriage?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, that's a whole different topic.
That's
But
another topic. Okay.
yes, oh my God, yes it is. But that also plays a role in that I'm married the right person,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, you
Part
know,
two.
would you say, me?
I said within part two, we haven't.
Yes,
Was I
like
ready for marriage?
you said that, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, that was a good one. Yes, yes, So,
Yeah.
um, once again, wifeys, thank you, wifeys, for tuning in, for listening once again to us. Discuss, did I marry the right person, right? And like Shamitria said, it's good to pay attention to those red flags, right? And, let's not be selfish, right? Let's honor God in our marriages. When you start to question yourself, did I marry the right person? Just think about how much you pray to God for this individual and how long it took for God to create him or create her in order for you to say I do, So um never rush the process. Always pray about it. Be very real about it, and like we say, just keep it real is what I would say. So have a great, great Wednesday. I forgot it is Wifey Wednesday. So from us to you, enjoy Wifey Wednesday. Be blessed, and we'll see you soon. Bye.